Yes, sir. I can see the slides now.
Okay, have we covered this member under stressor last time?
Sir, I think no.
ये केसेस कर लिए थे डिस्कस ईयर है?
सर मेरे ख्याल में नहीं थे कि असल में सर वो फ्राइडे वाला लेक्चर नहीं था ना हुआ।
अच्छा ओके ठीक हो गया। तो ये डिजाइन ऑफ जीरो फोर्स मेंबर पढ़ लिया था हमने?
सर ये भी शायद नहीं था पढ़ा।
अच्छा ठीक हो गया, लेकिन ये पढ़ लिया था जनरल कंसीडरेशन फॉर सिलेक्शन ऑफ मेंबर।
सर वो एग्जांपल नंबर शायद 2.6 से पीछे पीछे तक या आई थिंक किया था।
2.6 कर ली थी हमने। 2.6 कर ली थी एग्जांपल।
सर मेरे ख्याल में शायद 2.5 की थी हमने।
अच्छा ठीक हो गया।
सर 2.5 की 2.6 कर दी है।
ओके ओके गुड गुड, मैं स्टार्ट कर देता हूँ। यार देखो तुम्हें भी नहीं पता यार, तुम भी मेरी तरह ही हो।
सर मैंने बताया तो है आपको 2.6
ओके 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 ओके, नाउ प्लीज म्यूट योर माइक, आई विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम 2.6. Okay, inshallah, because I have been little busy in this week, so I will send you the whole recording of lecture maybe by the end of this week, maybe by Friday. So I believe that you already have the video recording of previous lecture. For this week and the last week, I will send you by Friday, inshallah. So before starting, let me start the recording. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, dear students, inshallah, today we will solve an example related with design of tension member. So first of all, we have to understand the data which is provided over here. So we need to select a W section. So W section means a wide flange section which might have designation as W. So it didn't say that select the I section. I section means that if in this statement it is given select I section. So I section means that we may select the section among W, S and M. So all are the I section or W symmetric I section. But here we need to select the section from W sections which are given in LRFD design aid. I will explain you in forthcoming slides. So to resist a dead tensile load of 1020 kilonewton. So we are given a dead load in tension. The magnitude of dead load is 1020 and it is subjected to a service tensile live load of 680 kilonewton. Service means without being multiplied with any overloading factor. Using 836 steel. For 836 steel means that the yield strength of steel is 36 KSI, or in megapascal yield strength is 250 megapascal and ultimate strength will be 400. Using AISC LRFD specification, so we need to design as per load resistance and factor design specification, not ASD. The length of the member is provided as a 9 meter and it is to be connected through its flanges only. This means that we are connecting this W section with flange. So it means that we are punching the hole with flange and we are connected with the gusset plate or with any other section. So assume that there can be as many as 4 20 mm rivets at one cross section. One cross section means at any cross section. Cross section means perpendicular to the length or in the transverse direction to the length if we are cutting the section. So at any section maximum 4 holes are punched. Where it is assumed that there can be as many as 4 20 mm rivet at any one cross section. So 2 in each flange. It means that at any section, if 4 holes are punched, it means that in each flange we have punched 2 holes. So you will see in a schematic diagram in the next slide. Fastener per line. So this is the fastener per line at least 3. So there are at least 3 fastener or rivet along the length of the member. So these are the along the length, but this is at any cross section. So I will explain why this information is given. And BF of W section. width of W section may be assumed to be lesser than 2 by 3D for initial calculation of shear lag factor. So why this information are given, I will also explain. So BF is less than 2 by 3D or BF over D ratio is less than 2 by 3D for shear lag factor. Okay, here, first of all, we will compute the factor load. So factor load, we are provided with the dead load, we are provided with the live load, length is given. So we have to use the gravity load combination for LRFD. So factor load is computed multiplying the dead load with overloading factor 1.2 and live load with 1.6 as specified by LRFD AISC specification. So we are having factor load 2312 kilonewton. So actually we want to avoid yielding failure criteria and rupture criteria. This means that we are having two equations. We are having one equation related with the yielding failure and one equation related with the rupture failure. So from the both equations, we will determine area required. So what we are doing, we are equating PU factor load with capacity in yielding and also capacity in rupture or fracture. So we have already derived this equation in our previous lecture. So I believe that it will be easy to understand this equation. So by yielding criteria, area required will be equal to PU factor load multiplied by 1000 because the factor load is given in kilonewton. So we need to convert into Newton. 0.9 is the phi t value or strength reduction factor for yielding failure, and in yielding failure we are supposed to use Fy. So if we are determining the area required from here, so area required is 10,276 millimeter square. Okay, in rupture criteria, actually in rupture criteria we are supposed to compare Tu with ultimate strength with the effective area. So this U value is to convert the effective area into net area, and then this R is the ratio between net area to the gross area. So it means that we have to multiply this factor with U and R so that we can determine the area, gross area required, because we are selecting the section from the section properties table which are given in AISC manual or in our LRFD design aid. So we are not provided with effective area or net area. This means that we need to convert our area into gross area. So U is used to multiply with effective area to convert into net, and then R will be multiplied with net area to convert into gross area required. Okay, here I need to explain here. So actually for W section or wide flange section or I section, shear lag factor, it is also given, it is recommended by AISC. So actually in our data, he says that for the assumption, initial calculation, initial calculation means for the computation of area required, assume that BF value is less than 2 by 3D. So I want you to open page number 98. If you are having LRFD manual, please open page number 98. If you are opening the page number 98, so you are provided with a table for shear lag factor. So the row numbers are different in different editions. So for example, the LRFD manual, which is I am having with me, in that manual I am consulting point D. Maybe in some other, point E. In some other manuals, you may have point F or maybe G. So W in the types of the member it is written. So if you are having the manual with you, you can also consult for W, M, S, H, P or T connected at flange only, which are connected at the flange only, and minimum number of the fastener are 3, and BF over D value is less than 0.67 or 2 by 3D. In that case, assume the U value equal to 0.85. So here, I have considered U value as a 0.85 because that is provided by or suggested by code. So that we have already discussed. Let me show you the table that we have already discussed. So in the shear lag factor value, I have also explained. So let me check where is the specification. Yes, here. So this is also mentioned on page number 98. So on page number 98 for W section, MS or I section, where the fastener are in one line are 3. So BF over D value is less than the 2 by 3D. Or if the BF is less than 2 by 3 of D value, which is 0.67, then we have to consider U value as a 0.85 for initial calculation. So further, actually, we are provided with here the diameter of fastener. It means that we can compute the area of the hole which is to be punched. But we do not know the gross area. Gross area is unknown. So it means that we cannot determine the actual net area, or we cannot say that how much area, gross area will be reduced after punching hole. So in that case, what we supposed to do? So we are assuming a suitable R value also 0.85. So R is, we are assuming that after punching the hole, the gross area will be, net area will be equal to 85% of gross area. So at this start, we have to assume also the R value. So in most of the cases, what U value we are also assuming same R value. But AISC, it recommends one thing. AISC says that do not assume R value less than or equal to 0.8. The lowest value that R value you can assume is 0.8 or 0.85. So here I have assumed both R and U value 0.85. So U value I have consulted page number 98 on LRFD manual. So LRFD manual is allowed to be used in examination. So that's why I'm always asking you to open the page and see the values. Okay, it means that we are having two areas, one from the yielding criteria and one from our rupture criteria. So area required will be the larger out of these two values. So from these two values, the larger area will be this one. It means that I need to select a section, W section, which have area more than or equal to this value to avoid yielding failure and rupture failure due to the applied factored tensile load. Okay, based upon next is B minimum also. So B minimum is that also we need to select a section where the connected leg, the width of the connected portion should be more than a minimum value to accommodate the fastener. So B minimum is 2.5D plus 16. Why I haven't used this 3.25 plus 18? Because the member is connected by flange only. No hole is punched or no fastener is provided in web. If we are also connected by the web, then 3.25D plus 18. So minimum width should be 66 millimeter. So in case of the I section or W section, half of the flange is B minimum. It should be more than B minimum. So you can convert into 2B. So if you, or in other words, the full flange width of I section should be more than 2 times of B minimum. So B minimum is 66. Okay, here our required area is 10,667. So I will ask you, if you are having LRFD manual, then open the page number. We have to select from AISC standard section. Open page number 47, not 40, yes, 47. So we have to start selecting the section starting from the page number 47, and we need to move backward, lower to the higher area. So we have to check all available options where the area is just equal to a little bit more than this required area. So all of you having the LRD manual with you? CR, anybody please respond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. So please, from 67, I'm just looking into the area column. In the area column, maybe on page number 47, in second group and very first section, area is W210 into 86. Area is 11,010, which is more than 10,667. The section which is below this having the area 9,1100, which is not okay. So this would be our first trial section. I'm just writing it. So I'm writing this section over here. So this section is W286. So in the previous edition, this area was 11,000, but now here it is written 11,010. Doesn't matter. So I'm just need to write down all available options or trial which are not final. Then I will move to the page number 46, and the section which is at the bottom, it is having the area 12,330. It is heavy. I will not pick any section from page number 46. Now I am on page number 45. I am moving from below. None of section is having area equal to or more than our required area. Then on page number 44, I'm having a section, no, none of the section is having area more than 10,667. Then I'm having a section on page number 43, maybe in the last group, W460 into 89. Second section in the last group, it is having area 11,380. So 89, it is having more area, but I think I have missed some of the section. Okay, sorry. I was selecting the section from BS. If I am on the page number 41, so that is BS shaped section. So I'm not supposed to select from the BS standard section. So actually I supposed to start from page number 23. Yes, page number 23. I need to select from section which are manufactured as per ASTM or AISC specification. Yes, I'm on page number 22. On page number 22, yes, the second section, which is W286, it is having the area 11,000, and the section which is above 200 and into 100, it is having area 12,700. I will not write it. Next, page number 21. On page number 21, all sections. Yes, I am having an option in this second group, third last section, W250 into 89. having area 11,400. You can write it for the time being. Then page number 20. On page number 20, in this second group, very first section, W310 into 86, area is 11,000. That is also option available, so that's why I have written over here. And all the section above, they are quite heavy because they are having area more than our requirement. Then maybe on page number 19, either the area is larger than 10,667 or lesser. In the first group, the last section W360 into 91. 91 is heavy. Area is more than 11,500. So none of this section also available on page number 18. On page number 17, I am having in the third group, very first section W410 and 85. And this is having area 10,800, which is little bit more than our requirement. So here I have selected these three trial sections. Trial means that these are not final. I will try to, my first option is that I need to select that section first, which is having area more than our required area, and it is the lightest one. Okay, here 86 is the weight per unit length. This both section, they are having area 86 kilogram per meter, and this section is having area, weight 85 kilogram per meter. So this is supposed to be our lightest option. So actually what happens if this is the nominal depth and all these sections, they are having almost same area. If the depth of this section is larger, it means that its flange or web will be thin. So which it means that if the depth is larger, then the width of this section will be lesser. So it may have very less moment of inertia about y-axis, but moment of inertia about x-axis will be more. And also if I'm selecting a section with larger depth, so its flange width may be less than B minimum, or half flange width will be less than B minimum. And also there is no any difference between the weight of the section, maybe only 1 kilogram. So anyhow, you may select this, but if the difference of the weight in trial section is not greater, then in case of tension member, because they are never, there is no any problem of stability. So always try to select a section which is having lowest depth. Lowest depth means that in that case, we need to connect maybe lesser depth of this section with other sections. So anyhow, but you could try anyone. But I will try this section because if the depth is lesser, so its width will be more. So it means that its radius of radii of gyration about x-axis and y-axis will be same. So this will be my first trial section. I will apply all the capacity check. This is not final. First, I need to apply capacity check. If the capacity is more than factor load, then this section will be final. Okay, these are the screenshot of the pages where from I have selected a section. So this section I have selected W200 into 86, area is 11,000, depth, nominal depth is 222, flange width is 209. Okay, here just see, depth is larger, but flange width is very less. So it means that thus its radius of gyration is less in y direction, or moment of inertia about y-axis less than as compared to the moment of inertia about y-axis with reference to the other section which are having lower depth. Because area is same. If area is same, if the depth will be more, to accommodate the same area, width will be less, as you can see over here. So this would be either this or this would be our first trial section. So I have selected this as a first trial. So I need to write down the geometric properties of this section. Area is 11,000. BF value is 209. Flange thickness we require here, why we require, I will explain, which is 20.9. Thickness of the web we do not require, but you can note down. Moment of Rx value is 92.7. Radius of gyration about x-axis and radius of gyration about y-axis we also require. So here I have written all the geometric properties. Okay, now projected length. Projected length means that actually we are punching the hole in each flange. So if we are punching the hole in flange, so connected leg is the half BF. Half BF should be more than B minimum. So full flange width is 209. Half will be equal to 104.5, which is more than B minimum. It means that we can accommodate the connection or fastener easily. Okay, now for this section, we know the BF value, actual, because the section detail is known. We actually know the depth. Depth is equal to 222, which I have picked from here. Okay, now you will see actual BF over D value. So, gentlemen, I need to take the call. Okay, Sia, please respond me if you can see the slides. Sia?
सर जैसे नजर आ रही हैं.
Okay, good. Sorry, मैं दोबारा रिकॉर्डिंग स्टार्ट कर देता हूँ. Okay, recording is already there. Okay, before the interruption, I was just explaining. So actually now I can actually compute BF over D value. Now actual BF over D value is more than 2 by 3D, which is 0.941. Again, you can consult page number 98, the table for shear lag factor. Okay, so if BF over D value is more than 2 by 3, then U value is 0.9. We are given in the data for the initial calculation, assume BF over D value is less than 2 by 3D. It was given. But now, even if, when we know the actual section detail, we know all geometric parameters. So we're supposed to use actual U value. So in the absence of detailed connection, the detailed connection means that we do not know the length of connection. If the length of connection is given, length of the connection means we are given that 3 bolts are provided along the length, but we do not know the pitch. So it means that we cannot determine the length of connection. If the length of connection is provided, we can compute actual U value by the formula 1 minus X bar over L. But anyhow, from the page number 98, BF over D value is more than 2 by 3D. So U value will be 0.9. So net area we can now compute. How we can compute? Because we are provided that one hole is punched in each flange. So at any section, 4 holes are punched. So net area can be computed gross area minus N D plus 3 into TF. So thickness of flange will be used because we are punching the hole in flange. So flange thickness, the area is punched in the flange, so we have to use flange thickness. Gross area is 11,000. 4 fasteners are present. Diameter of the fastener is given for the rivet 20 plus 3. 3 is the extra margin for the hole and thickness of the flange. So we have computed the net area. Capacity will be lesser value out of yielding criteria or rupture criteria. Capacity in yielding will be 5 TT and is equal to 5 Fy into area of selected section. So 0.9 is the phi value in yielding, 250 is yield strength, area of selected section is 11,000. We supposed to divide it by 1,000 just to convert into kilonewton. So this capacity is 2475. So what was our factor load? So factor load is 2312. So factor load is less than the capacity, or capacity is more than factor load, so it's safe in yielding. Similarly, we need to determine the capacity in rupture. Phi value 0.75 in rupture, ultimate strength, because rupture will occur when the stress will be more than ultimate strength. And in rupture criteria, we always use effective area. So effective area is determined multiplying the U value with the net area. So U value we have already picked from LRFT manual, page number 98, because BF over D value is more than 2 by 3D. For 400 is ultimate strength of 836 steel. Net area we just have determined here and divided by 1000. So capacity in rupture is 2458, which is also more than PU. So it means that our section is safe against yielding failure and rupture failure. Next, we need to check the stability. So stability will be checked by slenderness ratio. So L over R minimum. R minimum is for W section lesser value out of Rx and Ry. Section will always buckle about the axis for which moment of inertia is minimum or radius of gyration is minimum. So let's see in this section, Rx value is 92.7 and Ry is 53.3. So lesser is 53.3. So I supposed to use this value. So length of the member is given 9 meters. We will multiply with 1000 to convert into millimeter divided by R minimum. So slenderness ratio is coming 168.8. So it is less than 300. It is okay. So when we supposed to check the capacity check means that we need to check the capacity in rupture and fracture. Along with we need to also satisfy the stability criteria, means slenderness ratio criteria, and B minimum criteria. B minimum that the section should have sufficient width so that we can easily accommodate the connection. Then we will assume that loading cycles are less than 20,000 during the service life of 25 years. Block shear test can only be considered or applied once we know the connection details, so we will ignore it. So at the end, we need to highlight our section in the clear. So conspicuously, we have to mention our selective section. So final section will be W256, which are satisfying all our criteria in terms of economy, safety, and practicality. So there are just general consideration for selection of the section. So this thing, I believe that I have already discussed some of the point in my previous lecture, but I will explain it again. So when we are selecting, so first of all, let me explain that here, just for our practice, we are selecting the section from steel construction manual or section properties table, which are given in our LRFD design aid. So on this LRFD design aid, we might have maybe 100 sections. So we are having maybe numerous section in our library, but in actual field condition, maybe any contractor or a designer, actually the consultant designer is also the vendor. So in his maybe stock, he may not have more than 10 type of section. So in that case, we have to select the section among that 10 sections. If the required section is having maybe area more than the available in our stock, so we will make a built-up section. So we have to manage from our available resources. So type of the connection are also important in order to select the section. Anyhow, I have given example in my stock. I am having a section whose capacity is a factored load, but its B minimum is very less. B minimum is maybe in our previous case you have seen it is 60, 6 is required, but the section I am having the B minimum value 55. So it means that I cannot accommodate a rivet or bolt connection, but I can weld it. For the welding, I need minimum 50 millimeter projected leg or V minimum. So it means that type of the connection can also change the type of the section that I'm selecting. So it is very difficult to apply bore rivet between some steel section and the required gutter plate. So we have to select that type of the section that can easily be welded. Pipe section cannot be fastened with maybe gutter plate or circular section. In that case, we have to go for the welded connection. I will show you the figure in the upcoming slide. For example, plate member are to be welded to each member in most of the cases when two plates are lying perpendicular to each other. So for example, if you understand we are having T section, T, we are having two plates, one is vertical, one is horizontal. So these plates, so we cannot connect by the fastener. In that case, we have to weld to make a T section. Designers should select the members such that connection to other members in the structure are easy. More part of section as far as possible should be connected. So length, when we are connecting, for example, single angle, we always connect the larger leg. So we always want that the most of the part should be connected with the other part so that the most of the area or the section part should be able to transfer the load from one member to the other. So most commonly W section have gutter plate on both sides of section connected with the flange. Filler plates are to be used if depth of joining section are different. For example, if I want to connect a member, one section having depth 200 and other section is having the depth 150. So there is a difference of this depth. So in the connection part, I have to use a filler plate whose depth will be equal to 50 millimeter so that at the joining portion, the depth of both connected sections will be same. Gutter plate present within the two angle connected double angle. So here I have explained in the first lecture, but I would like to show you again what he's supposed to say. So he says that if we are having W section, we have to use the gutter plate on the both sides. But if we are using single angle, we have to use only one gutter plate. Or if we have to use double angle built-up section, then again we have to use one gutter plate. One angle will be on the other side. Maybe I could show you this slide. There was a one slide where, sorry. Yes, over here. Here you will see that this is the double angle section bottom chord. So this is the cross section. So one angle is one side, one on the other side. In between we are having gutter plate. So one single gutter plate will be used either in case of double angle or single angle. But when we are having I section, we have to connect the I section with the flange. So we are supposed to use two gutter plates, just like I have shown you. In this slide. So this is a type of the connection. Here you will see that we are having a pipe section and we can only weld it with this bottom plate. We cannot connect this pipe section with the help of fastener. So it means that type of the section is also affecting or maybe changing our choice in terms of connection type. Okay, next is zero force member. Zero force member mean that you in your structural analysis and in second year or in ESA, you might have analyzed many trusses. So in some trusses, you might have zero force member. For example, maybe we have discussed maybe in our design class, but I need to explain from the slides. So I'm praying that I must have slide over here. So that is the two. This will be in. Okay, let me explain from here. This slide. Okay, for example, this is symmetry, line of symmetry. But assume that we are having this member also. So if you will are analyzing this truss, so this member will not have any force. It is zero force member. Force will be zero. So you already have studied in elementary structural analysis. So if at any joint three members are exist and no force is acting, then the third member which is not collinear. So these members are collinear. Sorry, then the force in this member will be zero. Actually, if the force in this member will be zero, this member might be in compression, this will be in tension, and this in tension. So it means that we do not need to design this member because this is subjected to zero force. So it means that whatever the section I will select, its capacity should be more than applied load. So it means that we do not need to provide this member. No, we have to provide. Why? Even though there no force is acting, but in future we can maybe hang a fan over here, or we can maybe apply some force in future. If we are applying any force in future, so this member should have sufficient strength to carry this load. It means that we need to select this section, minimum area. In that case, actually the zero force member, which is the interior member, diagonal member or interior truss member, we need to design this member for slenderness ratio only. Slenderness ratio means that we can keep that LE over R value should be less than 300. If in future there is a chance of compression force, so we can select a section based upon LE over R value should be less than 200. So here, so how to select zero force member? So sometimes zero force members are required for internal stability of frame, for minor load like fan, fall ceiling, and for future changes in loading, and also due to temperature. So these may also be used to reduce the effective length of other members. I will explain. So such section should be selected by satisfying LE over R minimum should be less than 200, because we do not know in future the member might be subjected to compression forces. So if uh, slenderness ratio should be less than 300 in case of tension member, and it should be less than 200 in case of compression member. So we know the length of the member. So L over 200 will be equal to, let me write more appropriately. Okay, I'm not able to edit it. So if I know the length, I know 200, so I can determine what is the minimum R required. So then I will try to select a lighter section which is having R value more than this minimum value. So in this case, if the selected section is very large, heavy, base confidence ratio, even higher than any heaviest member in the truss, then what we will do? Preferably slenderness ratio equal to limiting maximum value of 200 for compression member. Using this criteria, if size becomes excessive, slenderness ratio of tension member may be provided. If you have selected based upon 200 criteria and the section size become very large and even have it is larger than the heaviest member in truss, then we can use the slenderness ratio criteria for tension member. Tension member means L over R minimum value should be less than 300. But still, if the member is again very large, because the length of the member is very large, in that case, we can use any other heavy member, the same section we can provide for zero force. So the heaviest member which is existing in the truss, the same section can be used in zero force as a zero force member. So connected leg should have preferable width greater than or equal to beam minimum. So beam minimum criteria will always be satisfied. So if zero force member is a top chord or bottom chord member, continue the same section as present in the which is in the adjoining panel. Okay, let me explain from here. So my first question comment is that if no force is acting, why we are providing this member first? If we are not providing, again we are maintaining the triangular configuration. But actually, if we are providing this member, so this member is actually splitting up this larger member into two parts. So it is reducing the effective length of this larger member. If we have to design this member which is having the large length, so this is supposed to be very heavy. So if we are using zero force member, so zero force member is reducing the length of the member which is having some force, so which is making the design of this member economical. So first point is say that if this section is very heavy, even larger than the any available section in this section, then whatever is the heaviest section among all the members available in truss, we will use the same section. This is only for interior member. And he says that if this member at the bottom cortex is zero force, so whatever is the adjoining member, we will continue the same member instead of designing. So if it is the bottom chord member, and also if it is the top chord member, so if this member is a zero force member, whatever is this member, we will continue the same member. Okay, if this member is the zero force, this member is no zero, this is also not zero, then which member will continue? This is the lighter section, this is the heavy section. Then we will continue the lighter section. So this is the design criteria for zero force member. So I will conclude my lecture here. So at the moment, if you are having any question, you can use the raise hand option. So I will answer all your questions. So anybody is having question? Yes, Uzair, speak. What is your question?
सर इसमें ट्रसेस में जब हम जीरो फोर्स मेंबर वगैरह देखते हैं, जब हम सॉल्व करें वो तो जीरो आ जाता है, लेकिन सर अगर एक पॉइंट पे काफी ज्यादा मेंबर्स अटैच हैं तो फिर हमें देख के डायरेक्टली किस तरह फिर पता चल जाएगा कि ये वाला जीरो फोर्स मेंबर है, और इसमें थोड़ी कंफ्यूजन है.
I cannot explain this because this thing you're supposed to learn in structural analysis. You understand? And you have to analyze the truss. You have to analyze the truss either by the some manual calculation or on by some software. So after analysis, you will come to know. But anyhow, if you have studied the structural analysis conceptually, so just looking at the truss, I can let you know that this member will be 0.4. This is from experience. So there are one thing I have mentioned, if at any joint no force is acting and there are three members, and out of three, two members are collinear in the one line, then the third member will be 0 force. It may be perpendicular or it may be inclined. Or anyhow, you have determined 0 force member after analysis of entire truss. You have to analyze this truss either by method of section, method of joint manually, or by using some software. You understand? So you will come to know about 0 force member after analysis. So anybody else is having question? Hamza Niaz, are you there? Hamza? Hamza Niaz. ठीक है. Moin Awais. Moin Awais.
Yes, sir.
ठीक हो गया. उमैर सुल्तान.
सर
ठीक है, ओके. सारी समझ आ गई है? कुछ समझ नहीं आई? उमैर साहब कोई भी नहीं आई? ठीक है, ये तो एग्जामिनेशन पता चलेगा. Okay, if you are not having any questions, so I will conclude the lecture. Inshallah, I will see you in the design class.